So let's just settle into our meditation posture and just know that however it is you're turning up this evening, it's perfectly fine. Welcome, Kathleen. And even if all you do tonight is just show up onto the Zoom, everything else after that's a bonus. So feet flat on the floor if you are sitting at your desk in a parallel position, and really try and feel this connection that we have with the earth. I just put our little tomatoes in. We have baby tomatoes out the back now. And it's kind of a miracle watching them grow. And this earth that supports us. You don't realize the extent to which it does support us until here in California we feel a bit of a shake. And then you realize that the potential for instability and change is huge. It's right there waiting to happen. So sitting on the sits bones, shoulders aligned with the hips. Looks like we lost chamomile. Imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just very slightly tip the head forward, getting a little bit of traction in the back of the neck. And just allow the eyes to relax. And if they were open, they'd be looking along your nose to a spot on the floor, a couple of inches ahead. And then relax the jaw and bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead. And go into the back of the eyes, particularly if you're wearing corrective lenses. I recently started wearing contacts and I don't find I have quite so much kind of strain in the eye because my eyes can move around. So if you do have any tension in the eye, just relax. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, back of the head, back of the neck. Go to the jaw again, relax the back of the tongue. Then go to the neck and just as much as you can, we just stretch the neck a little bit side to side. A little bit of stretch forward. And align your ears with your shoulders as much as you can. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Allow your back to relax. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly. And all of your limbs. Excuse me. And just bring the mind to the breath, just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then release to bring to mind your awareness of any sound in your environment and then just release it. Try not to hang on to that sound or follow it with the mind. And then again, bring the mind back to the breath, just noticing the thoughts as they're arising. Put some space in between those thoughts. Maybe you can imagine those thoughts on nice little white fluffy clouds and they're just floating off. Particularly if they're thoughts that are maybe maybe not quite real, or a bit of a story, or maybe a bit delusional. And just allow them to float off. Just let them go. You can put them inside a balloon. Just let that go up into space. And then we just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just watch that river flow on by. And how is your river this evening? Is it fast flowing? Is it flowing quietly? Is it making any sound? Is it clear? Is there debris in there? And just know that while you're sitting on the bank of your river, you're free from the river. And then just bring to mind all the people of our life, your loved ones. These are people we hold very dear to our heart and care for, who have our back, who we have theirs. These are very dear friends, parents and children and spouses and work colleagues and old school friends and our besties. They're the very good neighbors down the road. These are people that, they're looking out for you, and vice versa. And then we have our folk in our life who, we all got them, who are a little bit more difficult. They kind of trigger us sometimes, or maybe they've actually really harmed you, and probably best just to stay away. And then there's our strangers. It's good to remember they can all change place at any time. And then in terms of equanimity, just bring to mind this idea that they're all the same as you and me. They have this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering, and this incredible capacity for enlightenment. So I think we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life. Again, thinking of Israel, this is his practice, his main practice. He's in terms of Tibetan Buddhism, he's in the Bardo right now. Then think of my friend Marilyn, her dog Moki. I said I would say prayers for him as her again. And then if anybody else you can think of comes to mind, you can think of them. So just remembering there is no practice, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our mind, so we can equally create positivity with it instead. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech. And you can think of specific actions of the body and the speech. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we are going to experience. So logically, it makes sense that we would pull these karmic seeds out before they ripen as future suffering for us. So also just regret any anger and attachment, our delusions. And just feel regretting any harm you've done to others, any broken vows, because you don't want the future suffering. Just think, I'm sick of suffering. I don't want any more. And then, so what can we do about it? Whom can we turn to? So we have this idea of refuge. So, just like when you're sick, you seek refuge in your doctor. So we seek refuge, we turn to the Vajrasattva, who we see has the methods that we can purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made radiant blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, beautiful face. His eyes are long. They're shaped as lotus petals, and they're full of love and compassion for all of us. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime down the track. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body, in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of the speech, And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the harsh speech and useless speech and inappropriate speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dina meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. So just imagine every single syllable that falls out of your mouth is not only a benefit to others, but also yourself. So just imagine having the wisdom to know the right thing to say at the right time that would be of benefit to someone's mind. So next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva, imagine, very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. The light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so attachment and neediness and depression and violence and anger and bitterness and grudges and resentment and jealousy, disappointment, all of this instantly dispelled, but one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your unsuffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of body, speech, and mind. So imagine light and nectar coming from Vajrasattva's heart and coming into your heart. And just imagine that it's this light and nectar is eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Om Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva ahom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita. Dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the final step in the purification process. And just a kind of a really crucial one, because we need to make a decision if we want to make a change. That's where it starts, with us deciding. So you think you want to refrain from some things, whether it's negative self-talk, whether it's talking too much, whether it's, just kind of saying whatever comes out of your mouth without thinking. Maybe eating too many chocolate chip cookies. Whatever it is your thing is, that's kind of harmful to yourself or others. And just pick at one thing. We're not going to be able to, deal with everything overnight. And just rejoice in the effort that you've been making. So Vajrasattva, imagine, is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So just imagine this idea of emptiness now. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there a little while. In this way, you can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, this is for Rinpoche's swift return, patient in bearing the hardships of spreading the teachings of the Muni in general and the teachings of the victorious Jamgon Tsongkhapa in hundreds of directions. Lord of Dharma, holding the 3 vows and wearing saffron robes, please quickly return as the glory of the peerless teachings. You held the teachings of explanation and practice with great asceticism, unable to bear that transmigratory beings are confused by the darkness of suffering. Through your great loving kindness, you skillfully led them to happiness. Unparalleled Son of the teachings, please return quickly, beautified by the ornament of supreme patience in increasing the practice of the supreme authentic teachings of the victorious one through listening, reflection, and meditation. Guide all of transmigratory beings along the perfect path. True and perfect pure Guru, please return quickly. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Share, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. I'd love to dedicate, Elizabeth, to the great opera singer Grace Bunbury, who passed away on 7th of May. Oh, and 2 very young birds fell from their nests, which were, oh no, and they were laid to rest beneath a lilac bush. May all 3 swiftly obtain a precious human rebirth, instantly meet the Dharma and reach enlightenment. Post haste. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's very sweet.